What's up and how's it going? Welcome to today's Watch channel, and for this video I'm just going to be talking about Rolex, the Rolex market and the economy, right? The financial world and Rolex. Wristwatch check, I have one here, my Rolex Yachtmaster, reference 116622 on the rubber strap. Absolutely love wearing the Yachtmaster. And well, since I've got my Daytona, let's time it, start the chronograph and kind of see how long this video is going to run for. And for I guess for any of my viewers, this is a really small channel, guys. It's a small group, and I kind of want to keep it this way. I don't want this to be a huge channel. I want it to be a very intimate setting, and it can be a lot more candid and personal with people who are actually watching this video. And if you're watching this, you probably know that on YouTube, a lot of other channels like Paul Thorpe and Buck and Jack, and a couple others, where they're all talking about the Rolex Bubble and I guess more specifically, Watchfinder, right? Watchfinder slashed their prices for their Rolexes, their Batman, and all their ceramic Rolexes by £2,000-3,000, which is quite ridiculous. And to be honest, they were definitely asking for super inflated prices. I don't know who on earth would have paid those absurd amounts for those watches. I mean, like £14,000. Are you serious for a Batman? It's crazy, and it almost seemed rather predatory, right? You just try and prey on unsuspecting people with too much money. I don't know, but then Buck and Jack went on to say that the Rolex bubble had burst. Paul Thorpe was like, no, hey, hang on, that's not the case. The Rolex bubble has not popped. And well, I'm just gonna give you my thoughts, right? And my thoughts on the Rolex market and where it will go from here. I already posted a video, I think about a month ago, stating that the ceramic prices have been dropping. The Hulk, the Batman, the Sea Dwellers, the Deep Sea Dwellers, James Cameron, all of the ceramic pieces, even the Daytona, right, has been on a downward trend since the summer. Why is that? Well, I think firstly, prices have just gone a little too crazy. People who really wanted a ceramic Rolex had already gotten one. And, people who bought those ceramic Rolexes, maybe some of them, hey, people get bored, right? They want something new. And to be quite frank and honest, I'm sure a huge segment of that market were from Chinese people, Chinese buyers, right? And I'm Chinese, and we are smaller of stature, right? Our wrists are not that big compared to our Caucasian counterparts or those of other ethnicities, and they just don't fit as well on the Asian wrists compared to the older pre-ceramic Rolexes. And I think a lot of them have started to realize that, and therefore a lot of these watches have come onto the market. I mean, if you live in any metropolitan city in the Western world, right, in Canada or the US, I'm sure if you look at your local classifieds over here in Vancouver, we use Craigslist, you are going to find multiple ads for Batman, ceramic date subs, ceramic subs, Hulks, Sea Dwellers, and all of that, right? And they're still asking for a lot of money. I mean, right now, I think the lowest price in Canadian dollars on Craigslist is probably about 18,000 Canadian. And you could probably bargain a bit. And I wouldn't be surprised if he were to take below 17,000 Canadian, which would be, I don't know, what's that in US? Maybe like 14 US, 13 and a half, 14 US. And that's the thing, right? What's happening? I think the prices are coming down. Will it crash? Will the ceramic Rolexes crash to prices below retail? No, It definitely will not. And Rolex as a company will not let that happen. They will not let that happen. That will only happen if Rolex, for whatever reason, and they're going through some kind of financial crunch, decide to flood the market, flood their ADs with these watches, with the Batman, with the Hulk, with the, God forbid, the Daytona. If these become readily available at your local AD, then will the bubble truly pop, right? Then will it only pop. When you have that option to just walk into your AD and pick up whatever Rolex you want, that's when the bubble has popped. And wow, God forbid that day should happen. It would be utter chaos. That would just send shockwaves through the watch community, through the watch world, and probably, maybe even I think that will only happen if there's like a huge economic slowdown, a recession, a depression, something catastrophic economically would have to happen in order for Rolex to be desperate enough to flood their ADs with all the desirable Rolexes. That's when shit hits the fan, and I guess only then should you panic, right? But until that day comes, I'd say Rolex is such a strong brand. I mean, they make such a great product. They're beautiful, they are robust, they are practical. And I was watching another video, right? They say that Rolex, well, he was saying that Rolex is a middle class watch. And, before you get all apprehensive and defensive about that remark, he's actually, in my opinion, that's right? Because Rolex is, don't get me wrong, they're very expensive. However, they are not completely unattainable. You still can within your lifetime, if you save and you're a little smart with your money. It is attainable, right? It is attainable, right? Maybe not the Daytona, but the Explorer 2, sure, why not? Explorer 2, they can be had for about $5.5 US, 5,000 US. That's not ridiculous. That's not a ridiculous sum of money, right? Given some time and proper financial planning, and it can be done. It is attainable, right? It's not like perpetual calendar Patek Philippe or AP Royal Oak or one of those watches from, I don't know, Vacheron and or Lange. These are attainable upper middle class watches, right? But they're not completely out of reach. So because of that, there's a huge market. There's a huge market, right? China, over the last decade, opened up its economy. There was a huge demand for luxury goods, luxury products, and inevitably the demand was created, and therefore, these watches went up in price because the demand was there. And not to mention the interest rates, where global interest rates have been dropping, so the value of cash has been significantly diminished over the last decade or so. And that's why all the assets around the world, whether it's equities, stocks, real estate, I guess in our case watches, the prices for these things have gone up, but it's but these watches are the exact same watch objectively as they were 10 years ago, right? 5-10 years ago. Why are they worth more? Well, they're worth more they cost more simply because there's more demand from China, from Asia, and interest rates have fallen, right? The value of the dollar has dropped significantly. Cash has dropped significantly. Look at the euro, look at the yen. We're all going negative interest rates. Money is not worth as much as what it used to be. So to be quite honest, right, if back then when I started collecting and if I liquidated all my assets, put all my cash into Rolexes, you know, just strictly Rolexes, right? I remember when I started collecting about 7 years ago, these were trading for about 5,000. The GMT was going for about 5,000 Canadian. The Daytona was going for about 10,000 Canadian. And that's what they were asking for. You could have bargained a little bit, but you know, for argument's sake, let's make it easy. 5,000 for the GMT, 10,000 for the Daytona, 3,500 for the Explorer 2, 3,000 for the Explorer 14270. And the vintage ones, well, the vintage, the Zenith Daytona, they were, I think, trading less than the 116520. Right? If you know, if I had a crystal ball and knew how much these watches would have been worth, I would have just liquidated everything and just pumped it into watches. Please don't do that now, okay? That's not sound advice right now. I think that would be that full disclosure. Please do not heed my financial advice. I am not a licensed professional to provide you with any kind of financial advice. So please don't do that, all right? I'm just kidding, all right? But the scary thing is that if that's what I did back then, you know, I would have tripled my assets, my net worth, which is kind of crazy if you think about that, you know. So what's going to happen? Well, I think the prices are going to stabilize, and we are all really at the mercy of Rolex, right? Like I said, things will only start to change if they decide to decide to increase the supply of all the desired models. All right. So what's going to happen in the future? Well, it just comes down to the global economy. But in the meantime, I think these Rolexes right here, these are pretty safe buying. You know, you buy one, okay, enjoy them, right? First and foremost, buy what you love, buy what you enjoy, right? Buy the watch because you want to wear it. Don't buy it for an investment. All right, don't buy it with the intent to make money. Buy it because you love this piece, you love these watches, you enjoy them, and you know everything is good, right? Okay, anyway, let's see. How long have I gone for? Oh, 11, 12 minutes. Anyway, okay, it's gone long enough. Thanks for watching, and I'm out. Bye.